Welcome friends to another Creative Cutter Room video. Today I want to share with you a couple of the bonus projects that you will be able to make with the pieces left over of your Chilling Carriage Ride Kit. So as you know, there is a mini album kit along with a home decor piece that I'm sending out. Once you get done cutting up the pieces and assembling that kit, you'll have some black cardstock pieces left over, and one of them to me happens to look like a bookmark, and so that's what we're going to be making with it. And the other piece, like this, happens to be just enough to score in half and fold to make a little card. Now you will have 5 to 6 left of each of these pieces, so you can have a set of bookmarks and a set of little cards that you can make with what's left of your kit. Now if you choose to not make the mini album, in a prior video I mentioned that the pad, you'll have 12 sheets left over of pattern paper. I chose to not make a mini pad, and instead I took some pattern papers out, and I'll show you the set here. Let me move the bookmark aside for a minute. Instead I took the 6 cards that I had, and this is just one that we're going to walk through together, but I made these little mini cards out of them, and they're just monogram cards that I will have to send out this Halloween season with just notes to neighbors or friends, or makes a cute little stationery gift. But as you can see, I did the R for Rigby, so I'm going to keep this for myself. But you can make these cute little 6 cards. Let me just put those over back here. And so let me just show you what I did. This little piece of pattern paper measures 3.5 by 3 inches. And once you get done cutting that, you will have a piece left over. Now this is the exact same paper, just the back side, and you'll have a piece left over that's about 2 3/4 by 3. So I put that on my Cricut mat, and let me just share with you the file here, and got my gypsy. Now let's see if I can zoom in here. My gypsy out, and just so that I could perfectly size my shape, I grabbed the cartridge Lacy Labels, and I grabbed this image right here. So if I go to so on the Lacy Labels cartridge, it will be the 4th button over. Okay, so I grabbed that button number 4, put it on my mat, sized it to fit within the shape that's left. So this one is 2.25 in height and 2.62 in width. So I cut that image out, and you can see with my gypsy I can place that exactly where I want to put the piece of paper. So on my mat, let me just zoom back out here, I placed that on the mat, and I cut out my shape. So then I wound up with a perfectly sized label from the leftover piece. See, that's the back side of the paper. So this is the piece that was left over. I also used my Hannah Montana cartridge, and I cut myself out a letter R for my monogram. And of course this will be whatever your initials are, or you could even do a cute Halloween shape, but I don't usually send out Halloween cards, but I do, however, send notes to neighbors and things, so that's why I wanted to make a set of monogram cards. So those are my 2 pieces using my gypsy. And just one more thing on the gypsy I wanted to show you. I created that label on one layer, and then I created the letter R on a separate layer, so that I could take one of those letters, and I hope you can see it there, size it so that I know it will directly fit inside of that label. And as you can see here, I just did multiples of 6 so that I could cut the full set out at once. But you can certainly use the layers on your gypsy to help you size projects, so that when the finished cut comes out, you know they'll fit perfectly. Okay, so that's my gypsy cuts. Let me just show you the assembly here. So I have my little piece of pattern paper, and I glued that to the center of the card, and I made this open fold this way. So I've got that glued to that side. I'm just going to take a little of my black soot ink, which is what you probably would have used for your little mini album, and I'm just going to ink the sides of this here. Now in the kit I also include some foam tape, which you may have pieces left over of that tape depending on how much of it you used in the mini album. But I'm just going to take, actually I'll just take a full square. I'm just going to take a square of that, and put it right in the center there. And as you can see, that's the same paper. I'm just using the back side so I know that it coordinates perfectly. And I'm just centering it just a little off to the right here. And then I'm going to take my little letter R and I'm going to hit that with some ink. That orange, that you'll have some of this orange left over as well. And part of it we're using for one of the other projects I'll show you here in a minute. But the other part is just enough for you to do a couple of small letters. So there's my R, and then rather than just put that up, you know, I could just glue that right there. I'm going to put that up on some foam tape as well. And I love to use my giant roll here of foam tape because I can cut this to whatever size I need. So I'm just going to cut a couple of really thin strips like so to go right under the monogram letter. And that's the nice thing about having a big giant roll, that you know you can fine tune the size you need. Just trim that a little bit. Take the backing off. And then I'm just going to add that right to that label. And then in your kit I've also given you some tulle to use on one of the mini album pages. You may or may not have some left over. I had a couple of pieces and then I had to grab some more, but all I did was take, and I hope you can see that in camera, just some pieces of tulle that you can get at your local fabric store, and I folded it into like 4, you know, I cut the strip really long, about an inch and a half, and then I folded it over a couple of times just to make a nice strip of this. And then I just took a strip and tied a simple bow to each card. And this just kind of fills up this area here to the left. Now you don't have to use tulle. You can use orange or black ribbon, or if you decide not to go with the Halloween colors, you know, you can do this any colors you want. And I'm just going to trim that piece right there. And then you'll just want to kind of make all these edges the same size. Okay, so just tied a simple, and I hope you can see that. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but you just tie a simple tulle bow, and you've got these really adorable monogram cards. And just as a finishing touch, I took a rhinestone, actually not a rhinestone, sorry, a half-back pearl, and I'm just adding one there to the R. And you can see I did a couple of different ones. This one has more of a rhinestone, a little bling. This has the half-back pearl. So part of the project is you will have these 6 wonderful little note cards that you can stamp with a Halloween sentiment or with just a little note from your desk and send those off this holiday season. So fun little project with what's left over from your kit. Now the second little project, and I'm going to include a bonus to your kit. You'll have 6 of these left over, 5 to 6, again depending on how much of the scrap black pieces you used. I'm going to include 6 of these, I know it's hard to see on the white paper, 6 of these little skeletons from the paper doll cartridge into your kit. And I just love these guys. They're just a cute, cute size, cute image. And I'm going to put that here, and you'll be able to make these really cute little bookmarks to give out on Halloween as well. So I'm just going to hit him with a little bit of ink. Not a lot of detailing on him because, like I said, this will probably just be a kid's bookmark. I'm going to get some glue going here. Let me use my Zig pen instead. I really like how you can get the glue right where you want it with the Zig pen. So just once you get it going, just put the glue exactly where you need it to go. So quick and easy projects just from the scraps left over from your kit. Now I could have put him up in 3D, but like I said, I want him to be a bookmark. So I'm going to put a fun little saying up here. And I think actually what I'll do is turn this more into a tag shape. So I'm just going to eyeball cutting that corner off. Oops, there's some glue on there. And then of course once you cut one side, you just flip over the other side to make it match. To do this on the camera, but I'll try and get it in there without my fingers being in the way. So I've made that into more of a tag shape. And I'm just going to take a simple piece of ribbon here. Some scrap ribbon. I'm going to trim that. Use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. Let me just make those ribbon pieces cute. Gotta finish it off cute, even if it's for the kitties. Okay, and then I think as my little final step, I'm going to grab a couple of little googly eyes. So let me add some glue here. And you know my design team right now has a Google Eye Project Challenge. So you can link up any project you've made recently that you've attached some little Google eyes to. And I'm going to make this, oops, make those eyeballs match. I'm going to make this my entry into the Google Eye Challenge. So super easy and cute for kids. A fun and quick little project you can make with just some of the leftover scraps from your Chilling Carriage Ride Kit. So this one for the kids, this one for my desk, and I've got 6 of each. I'm doing really great. So one last project, and this one is probably my favorite. Let me just clear some. In your kit you'll have a piece of leftover orange cardstock, and I trimmed it ends up being a little bit bigger than this, but I trimmed it down to a piece that measures 5 by 6 3/8. And then I grabbed another sheet out of the paper pad and I trimmed it to be the same size. Now I didn't care about this little hole at the top of the page. I just trimmed this to fit. This is the damask stripe, and I just love this paper in the Chillingsworth Manor collection. I'm using basil, so I'm putting the textured cardstock to the back, and then the piece of cardstock, the piece of pattern paper, I added some score tape to the sides. This is a 1/4 inch score tape. And right before I stick that down, I mentioned in the earlier video that you'll have a handle. This is taken from the bag that attached to the cover. And what I'm going to do with this handle is create my own little bag with the Chillingsworth Manor paper collection. So I'm just going to hit this handle with some adhesive. And you can either use, I'm just using my ATG gun, but you can certainly use some stronger adhesive if you'd like, some wet glue, whatever you have handy. And I'm going to center that to the back of this piece of orange cardstock. So I'm just going to create my own little door handle here. So I've attached that to the back. Now you can tape these edges down with just some plain Scotch tape so that, you know, whatever you stick inside doesn't get caught on them. So I'm just going to do that. And I recommend Scotch tape just because it will not be seen, especially if you have clear, really clear. So just doing that to keep the ends from catching on anything. I have my piece of pattern paper. Now I'm going to use wet glue here on the bottom rather than the score tape, and that's just because if I were to tuck in cards or something like that into this, I don't want it to get caught on the score tape down there. So I'm simply going to line this up and attach it to the orange. Okay, so just that easy, I've created my own little pocket door hanger. Okay, Now, some of you may do some visiting teaching, or you have friends and neighbors that you would like to visit for this Halloween season. So I thought this would make a really great neighbor gift, or if you're a visiting teacher gift. You could stick in a treat, you could stick in a message, you could stick in a note. You could even add one of these little bookmarks, you know, in there with your phone number or a cute treat. What I'm going to do is, in the sticker sheet that's one of the leftover pieces was this really cute sticker that says, every little thing she does is magic. So I'm going to give this to one of the ladies that I visit teach. I've just added some simple foam adhesive here to the back. I'm going to remove that. And I have a leftover bling sheet set. I believe this is a Recollections bling, and I've been making a wedding album for my sister, and this happens to be one of the leftover swirls. Attach mine about there. Let me zoom out here. So I'm going to attach my little rhinestone bling there, and then the little sentiment that says everything she does is magic, I'm going to attach to the bottom of that, so it looks like it's coming out from the little sign. And then, because of that funny little hole right there, I took another piece of leftover scrap and I border punched that with a Martha Stewart punch. You can see that spider web, and I'm just going to hit that with a little bit of Black Soot Distress ink. And attach that. And you can use whatever glue you'd like. I just happen to have this one handy. So I'm going to use that to cover up this edge right here. What would be even more fun, if you have a really special friend or neighbor, you can make the set of the 6 cards as a set for your neighbor with their initial. And they're a little bulky, but when you attach this, you can leave it a little bigger, and you can stick the little cards in here. Like I said, I'm probably going to stick a little candy bar and a message in there. Let me just back out. So you have this cute little Halloween gift bag that you can leave on your neighbor's door with some treats or a message, and you'll have this 1, 2, 3 bonus projects with what's left of your Chilling Carriage Ride Kit. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy your kit for those of you that purchased it. Lots of fun ideas that you can make with the scraps. The paper is just beautiful, and as you can see, it doesn't really have to be Halloween themed. You can use that to create a little stationery set or just about anything you can think of. The paper is just gorgeous, gorgeous collection, and I've really enjoyed working with it. And just as one more little bonus item, this is not made from the leftovers, but it is an upcoming tutorial that I'm going to be sharing with my Creative Cutter Room friends. This idea was inspired by, this idea actually was made by my good friend Orlina Zinn. She's Lena's Crafts. She's a former design team member, and I have a link to her blog from my website. But she created this really adorable take on a slider card. So let me see if I can get this in frame. Is that just not perfect? The bonus to this, and a lot of you have seen these slider cards, is that it isn't just a card, it's a box. So I don't know if you can see how thick that is, but the reason that that's a box is right behind this is a special treat. Isn't that fun? So this is a take on the slider card that allows you to give a Halloween treat to a friend or child or neighbor that's extra special. So an extra bonus little treat to this slider card that has a little box here for a candy bar. So I'm going to be sharing the tutorial on how to create this fun slider card in an upcoming video. So I hope you'll stay tuned and visit www.creativecutterroom.com for some more Cricut, Cameo, and scrapbooking fun. Thanks for watching.